Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today's video is Who's in the Wrong Wednesday, where you get to decide who's right and who's wrong. Am I the a-hole for poisoning my housemate who ate my food without my permission and ended up in the ER? Posted by Gloomy Isopod 8132. I, 19 male, recently moved into a share house and there's someone who keeps stealing my food. At first, I thought it was just a mistake, but even my leftovers were being eaten. It was very clear that that person was doing it on purpose. I spoke to my housemates about how I'd just prefer to be asked first, but they were nonchalant about it, and none of them admitted to doing it. I haven't caught anyone in the act, so I just tried to ignore it, as it only happened every couple of days or so. A few days ago, I came home from work with a carton of eggs that I found while dumpster diving, and some bread. I wanted to give the eggs the water test before eating them, just to make sure they're safe to consume, but I was too tired and went to bed early without eating. Oh, I totally thought OP did that intentionally to make his roommate sick, but he actually intended to eat it himself. I feel like this is just karma, switching the fates. The next day, I found out that one of my roommates got so sick, he ended up having to go to the ER. My eggs were not in the fridge where I left them, but I saw the carton and the shells in the trash, and my bread was opened. I had a hunch that it was him because there was a possibility that the eggs had gone bad, but I was also annoyed at the fact that he just helped himself to my food without asking. When he came back, I asked him if he'd eaten my eggs and bread, but he denied. I then said, okay, but I hope whoever ate them doesn't get as sick as you did because I found the eggs in a dumpster. His face immediately dropped, and he looked visibly uncomfortable. He got angry and went from saying that he didn't eat the food to saying he may have consumed the food by mistake as he wasn't paying attention and doesn't exactly remember, and accusing me of poisoning him. He said it's a health hazard to bring such food into communal spaces without warning everyone first, as it's not uncommon for people in shared spaces to eat other people's food by mistake. He hasn't spoken to me since, and my other roommates are siding with him and called me disgusting for doing that. Maybe they've all been stealing from you and are traumatized now they know where your food is coming from. A part of me feels like I wasn't wrong because they were my eggs that I was fully intending on eating, and I don't think I had to warn people against eating food that didn't belong to them. But I also do feel bad and guilty that he got sick. So Reddit, please tell me if I was in the wrong. Edit, just to clarify, because I see comments that suggest that I may have done it on purpose. I didn't. I've been dumpster diving for my food recently, so I was fully intending on eating it, just like I have been eating the food that I found while dumpster diving. I try to exercise caution, and thankfully, it hasn't made me sick yet. But had he not eaten it first, I probably would have ended up in the ER instead. I didn't randomly do it, just to try and bait and catch whoever's been eating my food. Food poisoning is not a joke. As I said, I just moved recently, and I'm just trying to get on my feet. I also understand that although I made sure to wipe my food first, ultimately, it is gross to put food that came from a dumpster in a communal fridge or pantry, and I will not continue to do so. I'll just put it in my room from now on. Not the a-hole. They shouldn't be eating other people's food. If you get poisoned eating something you've stolen, that's 100% on you. The fact that OP has to dumpster dive to afford food makes the fact that these pricks are stealing from him even worse. But hey, at least I won't steal your food anymore. Am I the a-hole for embarrassing my brother-in-law by reprimanding my son for pissing all over the toilet. Posted by Wonderful Repeat 850. My family is over at my house for a get-together since we all went our separate ways for Thanksgiving. My sister's husband is a pig. He's overweight and perhaps can't see his equipment and the toilet, so when he stands to urinate, it goes everywhere. Not great, but it'd be better if he at least cleaned up after himself. Instead, he leaves urine all over the seat, tank, and floor. At his house, my sister probably cleans up after him. I don't know. I don't want to know. Ew, oh my god. Who pisses everywhere and then just leaves it for someone else to clean? I'd be so embarrassed. I was having a similar problem with my son until I had his father teach him how to stand to pee and to clean up afterwards. My son still sits most of the time though, and if he does sprinkle a little, he cleans up. I went to use the washroom after my brother-in-law came out, and it was disgusting. I've talked to him and my sister about it before, and nothing has changed. Fine, new plan. I marched out of the bathroom, and I told my son, in a loud voice, that he had to go clean up his pee, since he sprayed everywhere, and we have guests over. Exactly like I expected, my son spoke up and said he hadn't used the bathroom and it was his uncle who just came out. Everyone went quiet. My brother-in-law went red and my sister went into the bathroom to clean. Oh wow, that makes me so sad. That poor woman. Even after being called out, he still didn't clean up after himself? His wife had to? Oh. I apologized to my son for the mistake. Afterwards, my sister said I was an a-hole to embarrass her husband like that. I said if an adult cannot piss properly or clean up after themselves, perhaps they should be embarrassed. Agreed. And if he isn't potty trained, she shouldn't be taking him anywhere. Now we're fighting, and she says I owe them an apology. 2 questions. Do I owe them an apology? And am I the a-hole? No, he owes her an apology. That's disgusting. And even a child knows better. Am I the a-hole for telling my son that his girlfriend is taking advantage of him? Posted by son's pregnant girlfriend. My son, Lucas, 19 male, has been dating Maya, 19 female, for a year. Just some background. I'm a single mum, and Lucas's dad is extremely wealthy. Just a minor example of this is that his dad owns the entire block that Lucas lives on. Lucas has a job at his dad's company, making close to $200k a year, while only working 20 hours per week. Maya is not from a well-off family. She's been on her own since she was 16, and had just enough to be okay before she met my son. Oh wow, well done her. Your son's lucky, but Maya managing to stand on her own like that, and at 16? Super impressive. Reminds me of Maeve from Sex Education. She must be hella resourceful. She refused most of my son's help, but she let him do little things, like help pay for car repairs and better groceries. Then, she got pregnant. Apparently, the first couple of months were very rough, so she had to quit her job. And then, her car wasn't safe enough for a baby, and she had to move in with him. Due to complications, she lost the baby at 6 months. She was in and out of hospital for the first month, but it's been over 7 months now, and she still lives with him, doesn't work, and barely contributes with the household chores. I've tried to tell Lucas during and after the pregnancy that Maya was milking it. During? You said that she was milking it during such a rough pregnancy that, by the sounds of it, she barely survived? Wow. I got pregnant with him when I was Maya's age, and I made it just fine on my own. Oh yeah, because all pregnancies are exactly the same. I still worked, went to school, took care of my apartment, and later raised a kid all on my own. I think Maya saw an opportunity to get out of her old living situation, and took it. He's always refused to believe me, and the last time I tried to talk some sense into him, he told me if I can't respect Maya, he won't be in contact with me. It's been 2 weeks, and I'm wondering if I should have kept my mouth shut. Down in the comments, Gruzak says, Maya's done nothing to indicate that she's just after your son's money, and she'd probably be good for your son, as he seems to have had everything handed to him. You're just projecting your own insecurities on a totally innocent person. You're the a-hole, and maybe the devil. OP responded, it's been 7 months. There's no reason for her to not be working or helping around the house. Unless her doctors said not to. Update. A lot has changed in the past 3 months. First, Maya and Lucas moved. I've seen pictures of their house on social media. It's gorgeous. Shortly after they moved, I saw that they're now engaged. I have not been invited to the wedding. I know some of my family members have been invited, but they're not allowed to tell me where or when the wedding is. Between family and social media, I can tell they're doing very well. My son is finishing his final semester in college, and Maya just started a small business, and they've got 2 dogs and some chickens. Maya and Lucas posted a pregnancy announcement today. Maya is 14 weeks pregnant. I called Lucas and left a message congratulating him and asking to meet up. I also sent Maya a similar message. As of now, it looks like I'll not be involved in my grandchild's life. Ash Williams 94 says exactly what I'm thinking. I'd love to know what other stuff Opie's getting up to, because this reads like the son went no contact very quickly. I expect that he's been having issues with his mother for a long time. Yeah, she spends the whole post trying to sound like a caring mother who's so unconditionally loving, despite her son snubbing her for apparently no reason. I'm betting there's a reason. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.